so hard. Now everything is easy 'cause of you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's Mac Zerflu and Jenni McKenna, realtors keeping it real, on our podcast called
Thoughts for Rent.
Thoughts for Rent.
Realtors keeping it real.
That's right.
The ladies and gentlemen, it sounded like we were about to do a theater show.
That's right. Minasan, konbanwa, Max desu. That's Japanese.
I know it is.
Or bienvenidos. Sorry. I don't know. I should stop welcoming people in different languages.
I love it. So now that we've welcomed everybody, I would like to bring up a topic of what's been happening just this week in property management. Just 3 bizarre kind of things that took place in this last week.
I love it. And we should say before we hop into it, we love that you're watching our podcast. We want you to subscribe if you haven't already, and we always want to hear your feedback. And we want you guys to reach out to us and tell us what you think of our podcast, because that's important to us. So please do that. I like to do this. I don't even know if it means anything, but down here, maybe you can subscribe.
I also like to say that if there's anything they want us to talk about that might be of interest to them, we're open to that too. So
I also like to say, if you have a house you'd like to buy or sell, or you have a property you'd like us to manage, give us a call. That's what we do.
Yes. And going into that property management thing, let's talk about what happened just this last week in property management. This is big news for Southern Nevada. So we came into the office, I think it was on Wednesday, and we got notification that a constable was assaulted by a resident that was getting evicted.
What's a constable?
So he is an elected official here in Southern Nevada, and they are the individuals that go to a property and physically remove a non-paying resident or a resident that has had a summary of eviction.
What's a summary of eviction?
That is when you get the judge to say, yes, we're going to allow you to physically remove this individual. And why this is important is because some owners, Max, think that if a resident stops paying rent, they can just go right into the property, change the locks, kick them out, and say, move, and start putting, and they start putting their stuff on the sidewalk because they own the house. They should have the right to the house. And by gosh, if somebody's not paying rent, I want my property.
You seem a little fired up about this, Jenni.
I'm reacting.
So you're animated.
I'm acting how an owner would
But
act.
also, if people lived in California, it could be a 6-month to a year process to get someone out of the property. So this topic you're talking about is important because if you have a property that you're renting out to somebody, you have to be able to get them out if they don't pay the rent.
That's what you want.
Okay, so in Nevada, it's easier than California.
It is easier. It's usually around 45 days, whether it be Henderson, North Las Vegas, or Las Vegas, give or take.
And these constables are important because, like you said, you can't go over there. I can't. An owner can't go over there. We have to use the elected, assigned officials. Now, surely not every constable is elected. There's like one main guy and then he hires people?
No, they're all elected officials is what we found out.
Wow.
And they do have some training as far as protecting themselves. They are armed, so they do have a gun. Yep. I think they also have a taser too, but they are armed. And the whole point of them going is because they have been basically instructed by the judge to remove anyone that's living in this property. And they do so officially with a locksmith. The locksmith is, as the constable is removing pets, people, whatever, no personal belongings, just individuals. As he's removing them from the property, the locksmith comes in and changes all the locks. Then the constable puts a sticker on the door that means you cannot enter this property any longer without authorization from either the owner or the management company.
And you would say that in this, they're trained how to do it, so they know what they're doing. And 9 out of 10 times it can be a pretty seamless procedure. Or maybe less.
99.9% of the time, because it's no surprise. It's no surprise to the individual that is in the house. They have been served a 24-hour notice. They more than likely have gone to court. They know this was coming.
Okay.
Most of the time, the constable is locking out a vacant property. They've already left. Yeah. They're doing whatever they're doing, and we're just doing the final, hey, we've got to change the locks and make this official.
And we have to use them. We can't just go by ourselves.
You can't.
What if we think they're gone? Can we check?
Well, you can see if electricity and essential utilities are on. If they're not on and they've been off for 15 days, you can call it abandonment.
Okay.
And then at that point, you don't need the constable.
So all this description has led to something that happened recently.
Yes,
Okay.
and it's really scary. So constable goes to the property like he normally would. Knock, knock, knock. I'm the constable. I'm here to remove you from the property. You're allowed to grab any medical needs, prescriptions, things of that nature, but you do need to be out ASAP.
They're doing their thing. Okay.
With him, the owner had asked for the maintenance guy to just come along. So with the locksmith, there is a maintenance person that is going to enter the property.
So once he kicks people out, this guy goes in and sees what needs to be done.
Yeah, while everything's happening, the owner's maintenance guy wanted to go in and just kind of report to the owner. No big deal.
He wouldn't be able to go in until the constable had completed his...
Correct. And the locksmith as well, too.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, my understanding is when the constable identified himself, the resident went after them with a machete, and the repair maintenance individual, the vendor that was sent there by the owner, is dead. He's dead. He died.
They killed him.
Yeah, from the wounds of the machete.
And the constable was...
Constable at this point, I think, is okay. I don't know how much injury the constable actually took. He is still alive, but
How long ago was it?
Just about 5 days ago.
No, not the date of our podcast, but... So did something change right away, or what happened?
Yeah, so as soon as that occurred, we got notification immediately from the courts, from Las Vegas court, that they are postponing anything for 2 weeks. Everything is on a standstill for 2 weeks. What they have said to us is that they are going to reevaluate what the procedure needs to be for the protection of the constable. Rumor has it, this is just rumor has it that the constable will now go out to properties. If he feels or she feels that they are threatened in any way, they will back out. They will call the police, and the police will issue a warrant for an arrest. And then the police will have to come in and actually arrest the individual.
Now, a constable he's a figure of authority.
Correct.
Or you'd say, right? He's a law enforcement agent?
Absolutely is a figure of authority.
So it's great that most of the time it's smooth, but I wonder if, this incident that happened, sometimes maybe lately it feels like there's maybe a lack of respect for people of authority or law enforcement agents.
And I've been doing this
in various places.
20 years, and I've never heard anything like this. So, yeah, I'm sure there's been some scuttle, and there's been maybe an angry resident, words have been expressed or whatever, but I have never had it to this degree. This is the first time it's been full-on violence, and a man is dead over this action. So,
and for the next 2 weeks, you can't have a constable meet you out there to kick someone out of a property if they haven't been paying.
And I have 3 of them that are pending.
And they're just going to be on standby.
They're on standby. And when I reported this to the owners, of course, the owners are like, oh my gosh, I'm already a month and a half out of rent. Now I've got to go 2 more weeks, and we still don't even know what the procedure is going to be. So it was it rocked our world a little bit today.
And it's totally sad that this guy lost his life too.
Exactly. Obviously. And the thing that makes me really mad, one, this is an individual that demands respect. I think it should. He's an elected official. He's there to do his job. There's nothing that he did wrong to any of these individuals. The individual didn't pay rent, did not fulfill their contract. Why at that point do they feel like they can take it upon themselves to hurt someone else?
Well, there's circumstances around everything.
True.
Some people, they're getting kicked out of their property because they didn't pay rent, but they probably think, I didn't pay rent because the hot water heater hasn't been working for 6 months. So there's circumstances around that. But what I've always taught my children, and what I've always believed, is when someone of authority or law enforcement or any kind of authority going through customs, crossing international borders, just say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, and, be very respectful. And usually the outcome is, it's been well for me, but usually if you do that, you won't get into trouble.
I have found that things get accomplished a lot more with honey than with salt. Mm-hmm. And so my philosophy has always been, even if I'm raging inside about something that I think is not fair or right, if it is a person of authority, I have to just step back and be, yes, sir, yes,
Should
ma'am.
do.
Can I get more
Yeah.
clarification? I'm still confused, whatever. But the thing that bothers me is I feel like a lot of individuals that I'm seeing in my world, which is property management world, no consequences. People don't feel like they have or should have consequences. And I don't know why that got lost over the course of the last few years.
Well, and it's not just property management. Look at what a contract is lately in sports, and a lot of, even in private business, people sign a contract for years, multi-year contract, and then they come in and go, I want to leave. I'm not going to hold up my end of the contract. And somehow they get out of it. So, it used to be a handshake, then it goes to written contracts, and they're being broken lately.
And that's
not brand new, but it's been
I think
happening
that's a
more and more.
shame because in the old days when you had your handshake, you were as good as your handshake, and then you did what you did. Then obviously people were breaking that. That's why it went to a written contract. And then you should have some sense of comfort when there is a contract between two people.
You should feel secure that you're moving in the direction that you want to, and you're going to get what you want and give what you need to for that.
Well, right now there's a little turmoil in I'm getting lots of calls from residents that are saying, I know I'm in a 1-year lease, but I want to break it at 6 months because it's inconvenient for me to pay this rent.
And when you say that's not going to happen, they're probably upset.
They're very upset. And I've always been a little bit confused because it's like, hold on, what if I went to you, Mr. and Mrs. Resident, and I said, oh yeah, here's a 1-year contract, but owner doesn't want you there anymore on month 7.
Yeah.
He wants his kids to move in. We need you out.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's got to go both ways. And I'm just really feeling like there's a lot that is going on the contracts.
Our society is such that people want to get what they want, and they want it their way. And we see videos on planes when people are misbehaving and they don't understand why they're getting kicked off the plane. We see people want to get a refund, but the refund's not available. And it was clear to them they weren't going to get a refund if they canceled, but they still want it. And I think it goes back to probably our parents and then us, who have created a kind of a society of people who expect to get what they want and not be challenged on that.
Well, I will tell you what it's doing in the business world. It's making us write an awful lot of clauses and more paperwork and more clauses and more disclosure and more clauses. I mean, it's crazy. So now I have another story for you because this week has been wild. It has been a wild week. So in Southern Nevada, we've talked about it before on this show, we have HOAs, homeowner associations, and they have a lot of control. They have security cameras a lot of times over where the cluster mailboxes are. They have security cameras where, if it's a gated community, where people are coming through the gate because they don't want anybody to bash through the gate. They have these cameras in the community area. We ended up getting a video at the beginning of the week. It was a video of one of well, let's just clarify. It is a resident's wife that we did not even know moved into the unit.
Oh.
So this
not on the application.
Not on the application. This individual has been living in this unit for over 5 years. It's a single man that is on the application. Every renewal, he has never mentioned a wife. All of us just believed it was this man, right? Mm-hmm. Come to find out, he got married a few years ago, brought his wife into the unit.
No stress, no mess.
Okay, no problem. I mean, at that part, no problem, but you got to let the property manager know because we have procedures that need to take place. We need to know who's living in the unit, obviously. Absolutely. So this woman, the wife, has decided to take on a pet.
Oh.
A dog. Again, we did not know anything about it. There was no permission asked. There was no pet screening. We were clueless. The HOA, however, has a video of this woman walking with this pet, this dog, no leash, no poop bag, in the open area. And this dog attacked another dog in the neighborhood that was on a leash, and then attacked the person that was walking that dog.
This is on video?
All on colored video.
Is it legal for them to video? the area?
Yes, because it was of the front of the complex
Okay.
where the gates were.
Common area.
Common area.
Okay.
So we reached out to our client and we said, hey, what's up here? Why do you have a dog? Why is there a woman that's living in your unit?
By the way, how'd they know it was your unit?
Because it went right back to.
You could see him going back to the unit?
Yes,
Okay.
it was clear as day.
Okay.
So he wanted to deny it in the beginning.
Oh.
So he lied. He's lying to me on the phone.
Uh-oh.
And then I had to say, don't lie to me anymore. I actually have colored video and I've got witnesses and testimonies of neighbors. So now he told me the truth and he wants to continue to live there. And the owner and the management company were saying, heck no. Why are we saying heck no, Max?
Well, I guess it's because they've already shown that they're not trustworthy. They're already breaking the lease. They're already breaking rules. And was there more than that?
Those are all great reasons, but the biggest reason is the liability. Once the management company and the owner know that there is an unauthorized person living in the property, and then that unauthorized person is walking around disobeying the HOA
with an
unauthorized pet, which again, the number one liability as far as money being spent out is over dog bites.
Okay.
HOAs get sued all the time about dog bites. Little kids get bit by dogs. They have to settle the suit.
Couldn't you just make the added tenant authorize her and then authorize the pet?
So if he had approached us, that's probably exactly what we would have done, because then we could have notified the HOA of who this person was. We no longer would have been subletting or unauthorized individual. If they had let us know, supposedly this is an ESA animal, emotional support animal.
The one attacking another dog.
The one attacking out of the leash.
And the person.
Yeah, right. So, but anyways, even if it is an ESA animal, we still need that information. We still need to let the HOA know about it. And then that person needs to abide by ESA rules and also HOA rules.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, that could have happened. But because they didn't do what they were supposed to do as per the lease, my owner and I, we're in a situation where we're liable now. If anything were to happen with a dog bite or retaliation or more problems with an unleashed dog,
Well, they're still living there.
We're going to be
Aren't
sued.
they?
So what we did is we served a 3-day nuisance violation, which is for the dog, and we served a 5-day lease violation for the subletting. Now, if he gets rid of his wife and gets rid of his dog, and he can really prove it, and when I mean prove it, you have to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt, then he can stay. But you're not going to kick out your wife, and you're not going to kick out the ESA animal. So this individual, we've offered him an out. Yes. Leave as quickly as possible, and we will not consider you a breach of lease, but you've got to get out of there.
So on a liability standpoint, now that you've given him that notice and it's official, say the dog does something in the next little while before they move out, are you protected? From the owner and you are protected?
I'm better protected. Anybody can sue anybody for whatever damage has occurred, but at least it won't show negligence. If I don't do something and I don't do something this harsh, then yes, it will come back to me as negligent from the management standpoint, and then obviously negligent on the owner, which I certainly don't want that to happen.
Now, the community surely has a rule that you must have your dog on a leash.
That is a rule in the community, but it's also a rule in Las Vegas as well.
Yeah. Well, but the guy, maybe he got the rules when he moved in because we provided all the rules to an HOA and somebody moves into a property within an HOA.
Correct.
But then when he got his wife and the dog, did he go, hey, here's the rules, just so you know. So now it comes back to common sense, right?
It comes back to common sense. It also comes back to respect. And that's kind of why we're correlating all this. This week, I have seen less respect than anything I've ever seen in the world. And even when I spoke to the individual, a man that has been with us for years as a resident, a relationship that has been grown year after year, flat out lied to me until he knew he got caught. Mm-hmm. That's disrespect, in my opinion, as well.
No, absolutely. But, people usually lie until they know they're going to get caught. And when you told him it was on video, he said, oh, well, I guess.
He said, can I see the video? And I said, you're welcome to call the HOA and you can get a copy yourself.
Lordy.
So now Number
Is the
3.
person and the dog okay? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
There might be a little slight lawsuit, hopefully not a big one. The person that was defending her dog did kick the other dog.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it wasn't a big kick. I don't think there was any damage, but there was a little bit of back and forth. We don't have volume.
Kick the dog that wasn't on the leash.
Right. Kick the dog away from her dog to kind of protect her dog.
I always say, if a dog's coming after you is not on a leash, it's free reign. You got to protect yourself and your dog.
Right. And I agree with that too.
Neither here nor there.
But the person that owns the small dog that went after the dog, she thinks that she should sue the individual.
Again, yeah.
So
even though I'm doing something wrong, whatever.
They can do that amongst themselves. Hopefully that doesn't involve us at all, because she's an unauthorized individual with an unauthorized dog. We didn't even know anything about it until the video came by. So hopefully they can do that amongst themselves. So the third thing, Max, that has occurred this week. So when you sign a contract with a property management company, the property management company is going to bust their butt to get a resident, right?
Yeah, sure.
They're going to market it.
It's their job.
They're going to, any applications that come in, they're going to vet. They are going to make sure the house is looking good, staged properly. There's a lot of work that we did to get this property ready to go. And then when we get an application, we send it over to the owner and say, okay, do you approve this? This is our thoughts. Do you finally approve? Sure. Well, the last couple of days, we had an owner that approved an application. We asked for the holding deposit. We got the holding deposit.
Beautiful.
And then this morning, they said, nope.
Who's they?
The owner.
Oh.
Nope. We do not want to rent to these people.
Oh, geez.
Oh, Jesus, right. Because we've already gone in so far that it's really tough to come back.
Well, you collect their money, too.
We've collected their money. They've set up a time to pick up their keys. Yeah. I don't know if they've done transfer of utilities. They might even done a forwarding address change.
What happened to this person? Why did they change their mind, this owner?
Because they wanted to hold the security deposit of the resident. Uh-huh. And they wanted the resident to pay their rent directly to the owner and not to the management company.
Huh. Wonder why they wanted a property management company.
That's my question. My question to him was, why did you hire me in the first place? Did you just hire me to help you get all of the things done in the property that needed to be done through vendors that are tried and true and are good?
And secure a tenant.
And then get an applicant that is good, and then you just wanted to say leave? I don't know. So again, I feel like that is disrespecting a contract, because all of these things are in the property management contract. When is the security deposit collected? Who holds the security deposit? When are we going to ask for rent? When is there going to be an owner distribution? All of that is clear in the contract.
Sure, in the agreement, yeah.
But today, he wanted nothing to hear about it.
Wow.
And it was a conversation that ended up being very...
Has that happened before?
It has, but not often. This is kind of a rarity. And it was a very heated discussion, not only between him, but between me. And it ended up being a hang up. Mm. He hung up on me. So why hire me? That's the question.
When people get into a situation that has a contract involved, first of all, they're not reading the whole thing. People don't go through the contract. It's like when we get something on our phone that says, do you agree to these terms? And we go, I don't want to read this. I'm just going to push okay. And then they don't, But this situation sounds like the guy wanted to get a tenant, get it all fixed up, and then not have to pay your management fee after that.
But you know what was really weird about this? The reason supposedly he hired us is because his last resident completely trashed his unit and didn't pay rent for 5 months, and he didn't know how to get them out. Oh. So he took 5-month hit. And they completely trashed it so bad that there was human feces on the wall. Oh. It was not a good scene.
Well, I hear, being on the opposite, that situation got resolved. So that you guys talked again, and he's like, okay, fine, we're moving forward with you as a manager. We'll keep that tenant in there, right?
At this point, yes. The contract stood, and he's probably going to try and find a way to get out of it. I'm not sure, but as of right now, we did not hurt the future resident. Right. They will be able to move into that property.
I think one thing I'm noticing in this is that when people hire professionals, be it a real estate agent like me to represent them in the purchase or the sale, or a property manager like yourself to manage their property for them, many people think they forget that they've hired someone and they're paying someone.
Right.
And then they need to let them do it the way they do it. I get a lot of situations in purchases and sales where people want to tell me how it should be done. And you have to be very direct with them and say, that's not how it's done. If we do it that way, there's going to be this consequence. Let me do it the way I know it's supposed to be done. Let me work for you and let me handle it. And I know I hear you in conversations all the time, people trying to tell you how you should do your job. And that's a problem. For me, it's a problem. Let the professional do what you hired them to do.
Yes. And if you don't trust them, don't hire them.
Right.
But if you've hired them, let them do their job. You're absolutely right.
But that's also a byproduct of YouTube and Google. And nowadays anybody can go, like, let's say I say to a buyer or a seller, hey, we just got a repair request and we need to respond to it within a certain number of days. And you can fix stuff, not fix stuff, give them a credit. It's whatever you want to do, but we got to respond to them. And they might go on Google and find something else out. And then they'll come in and say, well, I found out that we could just do it this way. And that causes some problems. I think it kind of complicates it.
I think that it absolutely complicates it. And then that experience becomes kind of jaded and they don't really like how that
They wonder if you're really doing what's supposed to be done.
Yeah. And in reality, if they had just let the professional do the job and you go do your job, let me do my job, they will have a much better outcome.
And they forget that that's their one house they're selling in the last 10 years. But in the last 10 years, I've been involved in thousands of home sales. You've been involved in thousands of property management leases.
Hundreds of thousands.
So
hundreds of thousands.
Let the person who knows what they're doing and has done a lot, let them handle it and take care of it. That's what I think. That would be the best scenario.
So that's the week in property management this week. Wasn't that a fun week? Some seriously weird, bizarre things that all kind of came into play.
Sounds like fun. No problem.
Wanted to share that with our audience. And things always are so unique and different in property management. It's probably why I love it. But it also was a little funky this week.
Yeah, I don't love it. It scares me. Property management scares me. I'm glad you love it and you're so great at it. Hey, that's our podcast for today, talking about some situations, talking about life and society and where we're going and how we're doing it. Obviously, we feel bad for the gentleman who lost his life and
yes.
Rest in peace.
And his family.
Let's do what we can to remain calm and handle situations in a very nice-mannered way, because that's
and
really,
respectful.
Really the best way to solve things.
And being respectful.
We're realtors keeping it real. We broke it down, and we'll be back again next week with some more topics. Hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to reach out and give us your feedback. Say goodbye, Jenny.
Bye, Jenny.
Lord. Oh, there you go. Sound good? Okay, good. I'll pass over to Ireland. Here you go, Ken.
Thanks, Pops.